respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhật thiết chúng sanh, tịnh duyên diệu pháp luân nhau đạo hạ môn, như liêu sanh thoáng tư đi khổ đạc lạc tất chứng vô sanh. How much of the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one? Nam mô Sa Đàn Thù Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tăng Tạc Tha Tô Già Đa Già La Hà Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zhao yu wo jin jie wen de xiao qi Yuan Jie Ru Lai Zhe Shi Yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns and all good new advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hữu Thiện Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the what day is today? 25, 26 already. Oh my God, time flies. One day older already. How depressing. 2025. We're here at Go Force. To discuss the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you all for joining us. I'm learning a lot, trust me. I love this prologue from the Master YongHua's explanation, who's based on Master Ching Liang's writing. Thank you. It's a great survey of the Avatamsaka Dharma, because Master Ching Liang supposedly is a Mahasattva, his Huayin Pusat, the Avatamsaka Mahasattva, and Master YongHua, of course, is a Mahasattva as well. And he, what I like about him is that he brings the teachings to very practical concepts on how to cultivate. So I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning a lot on how these Buddhist teachings fit together, why they're taught certain ways and at certain times in certain sequence, So it's fantastic the way that the Buddha taught, and at our times, the way Master Hsuan chose to explain it to us. So it's a pleasure to learn. So I changed my mind. I'd like to continue as much as I can until this and go into our own translations. I think our people translated quite a bit on door number 3. This is door number 2. Stores and teachings containing it. The next section, the next door is something else. So we continue, we get going because of Master Hsuanhua's teachings. This is where he shines to me. Master Hsuanhua has 2 things I really admire. Actually, a few things I really admire because there's no way I can get to his level. His level explaining the Avatamsaka Sutra is unparalleled. He's unique. His chant skills, his samadhi is just incredible. And his, of course, his mantras are the best. His tantras is just out of this world. Chant skills, okay, He's not as pure as I like it to be, but it's so advanced already. But the mantras his mantras are incredible. He really understands mantras. And he never made a big deal out of it, contrary to other schools and sects where they, do things. His mantras dance circles around everyone, anyone. Okay? Way beyond me, to be honest with you. Okay? It's his specialty, really is mantras. Okay? So that's, I can't think of anyone who can touch his mantras, Anyway, so it's very, very interesting. Before I forget, tomorrow, remind me to teach you a new way to meditate without crossing your legs. If that's of interest to you, you wimps. Tonight, people here, go for us, because tomorrow is chant, okay? Chant class, and that's safe materials, because if I speak about everything tonight, then there's nothing to talk about tomorrow, But tonight here at Go Forest, there, if you can see there, you can see the group of we called Somnyala. I don't know what's the translation. Okay, they're a bunch of weirdos. Is an English translation. You asked me. Okay, they're diehards, and they're there to sit, and so to sit through the night. It's what's so funny about it? Not true? Okay. Such a wimps. Okay. It's a good tradition that I think other way places, our way places, should try to imitate and give you a shortcut. Okay? The Chinese, the way they teach you is hardcore. It's just not very efficient, and you don't have a lot of time to do it. Okay? So the Chinese, the way they train, the way they do chant meditation and so forth, is traditionally they teach about vigor. So whatever, and so you go, keep on going. It's not gonna have traction in our times because we're all too busy. Okay. You're all too busy, and plus, you gotta have fun. We're not gonna cultivate only, and it's unbalanced. Okay, it's for the Chinese system. Yeah, back then, 100 years ago, it's possible. It's 50 years ago, maybe, but now I don't think it's possible anymore. And so if we follow that, the same tradition of how they practice, most of you will drop out and you will get nowhere. Okay? So I will give you a shortcut for everyone. You don't need to do it like the Chinese, where you walk into the session and you're late, the door's locked, you cannot come in. And when the session begins, the sit begins, you cannot get out and you cannot move. That's not just Chinese, but Japanese, Korean, you name it. Okay, Vietnam maybe, I don't know, because I've never been to those. And when the Master Shenhua, that's my basis, and they beat you up and they don't let you, lock you up and they lock you out and all those things. And look, they're getting nowhere either. I rest my case, okay? I'm a meat and potatoes guy. You tell me something, what's in it for me, and what is your track record? What have you accomplished? And so you see, the way I teach you, the way we train you is based on empirical evidence, on true results. I was at Master's Temple, for example. They were doing chants. We started with 14 weeks when Master Shenhua was around. And then I cut back to, I don't know, I don't remember anymore, 11 weeks. Maybe 9 weeks when I was there. I don't remember anymore. After I left, they shortened even. You shorten because it doesn't work anymore. If people drop out, okay? We shorten too, but we're a different reason. We shorten our cheese because we need to celebrate New Year's. When there's some things are sacred, okay? New Year's is for celebration. It ain't for chanty. Okay, let's get this straight. Okay. But the point here is that the changes, the Dharma, it didn't work. We didn't have to change the Dharma. We shortened it because it's good enough for you. Okay? Because we use a lot of expedients. I would teach you one expedient for you to do Friday nights, which you can do here at Gold Forest. If you are eventually, you graduate, you go to DTT to do it, okay? So you have some friendly competition. And if you get DTT people to do it Friday nights, maybe they'll surpass Gold Forest people. We don't know, okay? It's for you to find out, okay? Number one. WMT, you could do a WMT as well. You could do a JMT as well, if one destiny manages to stay awake. JC is okay. So you have some places, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places where you can do Friday night Dharma. Don't miss it. I would not miss it if I were you. Okay? And the way they do it, because is at other way places, and you sit from midnight until 8, 9 until 3, 4 in the morning, and look at you whims. You probably can't make it. You're too weak. Okay, so we need to have a Dharma for weaklings. It makes sense? You want me to teach you, or you want me to teach you like the Chinese? You keep on sitting until you drop dead. Okay? So just for Friday night sits, here's what you do. It doesn't matter how long you can sit. Okay? Here's the key. You sit. If your limit is 1 hour, okay, you sit a minimum of 1 hour. Okay? And you push for more. Okay? And you push until mentally you can't take it anymore. And don't go crazy on me now. So one Friday night you push for an hour and let's say 20 minutes. Okay, I'm very humble. Okay, 20 minutes, and that's enough. You're done for Friday night. Okay, give your body a chance to heal. Following week, do 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay, push yourself, because 1 hour to one, you need to push yourself. You don't want to be comfortable. The training, in any kind of training, if you want to make progress, whether it's building muscles, whether it's building endurance, you need to be uncomfortable. You need to suffer. That's the key. If you want to be comfortable, go shopping, go to a bar. Okay? There's plenty of time for you to do that. But when you're here on Friday night, when you're in Friday night training, push yourself until you can't take anymore. And you remember that baseline there, and next time you go to that level. Every Friday, do that. Let's say you an hour, that's your norm. You do 1 hour, 20 minutes, okay? And then you can't take anymore, get out. It's okay. Okay? Next week, go 1 hour, 20 minutes, and push yourself. Maybe now you go to 1 hour, 25 minutes. See that? The point here is you need to get to the point of failure. Very much like when you build muscles, you need to get to your failure points. Otherwise, muscle will not grow. Oh, never mind. Don't look at my muscles. Okay? The point is that you have to reach a point of failure. Okay? But what we're training you is not muscles. We're training you is your mental failure. You need to increase your mental failure point. That's very important. It's not muscle failure, but your mental failure. So you have to increase your mental failure. You got that? You do that, you will improve. You don't need to sit crazy 5, 10 hours, 20 hours. That's brute force. That's Asian. We are American. Mahayana. Okay? That's all you have to do. You do that, you'll be fine. You'll be pleased with yourself. Okay? All right. That's it. Good luck to all of you. Become enlightened and come back and save us. All right? We always have new games for you to play. Okay? Yeah. And tomorrow I teach you how to meditate without crossing legs. Not today, forget it. Friday night is suffering night. All right. Okay. Any questions? Way Mountain.
Master, I would like to request Master Z to take a loss with us so that he can sit with us for the Friday night session.
Well, he has to climb the tower if he sits up Friday night. Who's going to work during the day? Okay? Yeah. It's up to him. Mm. But if he lacks sleep and he climbs the tower, he might fall. It'll be your fault. Very short duration here. All right. Anyone else?
Master, I have a question, Master.
Yeah.
Master taught us when answer, try to do the maximum 4 sentences. So any reason behind that, or any particular structure for those 4 sentences?
No. I'm just give you a limit on 4 sentences to teach you to get to the point very quickly. You don't talk like the old monk. He keeps on going and going and going, and that's distracting. You only have a strategy. And when you give an answer, you have to address the answer, and then you give and you wait for people's reaction. If they don't connect with you, then that's it. Nothing to talk about. If you make a point and they're able to get it, and then they ask follow-up questions. You don't just from one question and give a half-hour lecture or a 2-minute lecture because you don't allow people to ask questions. You always allow people to ask questions, and this is our trademark. Losers would not allow you to ask questions because they're afraid that they cannot answer the questions. You are different. I'm training you to give people a chance to ask questions, and I'm training you to be honest. That if you cannot answer questions, well, I think this is the answer, but I'm not sure. Let me go ask my peers, ask my teacher. Okay? That's it. You don't need to pretend that you understand everything. We don't. We don't need to understand everything. Same thing with Master YongHua here. I like Master YongHua's style of teaching compared to, for example, Great Master Tutor, which is higher level of Master YongHua in my mind. Okay, Master Tutor is so detailed, so scholarly, and so much deeper than Master YongHua in that sense. And to me, for our times, Master YongHua is plenty good. Master Tutor is, I think it's for your personal pursuits, where you get the Master YongHua's level, then you want to study Master Tutor to become even better teachers. Okay? So Master Tutor, that level of scholarly is great, but it's really very limited audience. Okay? It's not for any of you, as a matter of fact. All right? So we are low level, therefore we need to present our views in a very succinct way and allow people to give us feedback. All right? That's all. See, the old monk, he's old, he's dying, so I'm sure that he's trying to speak as much as he can before he leaves. Okay, that's understandable. But the real deal is that you learn to get to the point very quickly, and that's the spirit of teaching Mahayana. All right? Get to the point. And you say, maybe the point is that I'm not sure I get it, and that's the point as well. Okay? Anything else? Okay. Yes.
Master, could you summarize, if there's a way to summarize the difference between Hinayana Mahayana and the Mahayana Mahayana from the last lecture?
Hinayana Mahayana is basically low level samadhis among the G's range. So it's about 1 to 7, 8, that range is Hinayana Mahayana, meaning that it's only so much they can get. Even they have wisdom, okay? It's like you go to college. First year, you're going to learn, only can teach them so much in terms of mathematics, and then second year, you get higher, third year, you get higher, fourth year, you get higher, whether it's mathematics, engineering, physics, and so forth. Okay, there's only so much that people can absorb. So Hinayana basically is the range. It's the range where even though they have wisdom, they only can absorb so much. Master YongHua, in contrast, for example, is way beyond it. So that's why, this is another thing, that's why you need to be humble, okay? Especially you Vietnam people who translate, or you American people who translate. If you are, let's say, you try to translate Master YongHua, he's Mahayana, okay? and even beyond that. And even with that range, if you're only Hinayana, Mahayana, you can't understand, no matter how much how often you read it. Okay? Because you can't grasp it. You are first year, you're a freshman, okay? And someone teaches you PhD levels. And so when you translate, you cannot possibly understand the Dharma completely. Okay? And let me tell you, there's a catch here. Because I see it. When you're low level and you try to translate something higher, you miss the point completely. And you see some of these. It's holes here and there. That's normal. Okay? But what's most dangerous is that you pretend to understand. That's the most stupid thing you can possibly do. You pretend to understand. And it manifests itself in the form of you're afraid that people find out that you don't get it. I'm a freshman. I don't understand PhD materials. That's a fact. There's no point for me to pretend. We all know. I'm telling you. Because I look at you, I see your levels. You can't pretend. I don't need to do anything. I don't need anything. You don't need to say anything. I look at you, I know where you are already. You can't pretend. There's no point in pretending. There are plenty of people who can do that. And when you pretend, you're dead. So that's why it's a range, Hinayana, Mahayana. I say it because I want to separate your level versus his students' levels, because he taught his Dharma is basically specializing in developing that Hinayana, Mahayana, because there's none before. There's only so far he can go in 30 years. Okay? But we have the advantage in that we have the foundation set already, so therefore we don't need 30 years to traverse it. We have the lay of the land already, we have the techniques already, we have the experimentations already. We have plenty of data so that we don't need to get to the end of Hinayana, Mahayana by 30 years. We get there a lot quicker. And then we go to Mahayana, Mahayana. Because we avoid making the mistakes these people are making, which make them stuck in Hinayana, Mahayana. That's a job of a leader, a job of a teacher, is to guide you so you don't get stuck and lost in a desert, in the forest. Zhonglin is a Chinese term for where people will get together and meditate and practice very vigorously in the forest, in the Hinayana tradition. Zhonglin is what Master YongHua teaches. Zhonglin. And it's fine if you're by yourself. You need time, you need more time. But just like today, I gave you a shortcut. Now, doing that shortcut, you progress, you make progress. It's more efficient use of your time. I hope I answered the question. Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, I have a question about sitting. I had my legs hurt last year in October because of the crazy 2 long sits, and after that I asked about you for suggestion. By that time, the doctor said that there might be a hurt in the ligament, so you suggested me to stop sitting, and by now it's almost 10 to 11 months, and I think maybe the leg haven't recovered completely, but the results turn out that there's no ligament hurt in the leg. The doctor, when I later went to see the doctor, so I don't know whether or not I can sit or just still need to have a rest. I did not sit for 4 lotus after that, except for some emergency situations, but I sat in half lotus.
Okay. Well, lucky you. We have someone who can help you right there. She just walked in. So repeat the question in Chinese so that she understands. Is that you're talking about ligaments or ligament?
韧带.
Ligament, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to ask for translation. But lucky for me, the Chinese person who walked in here. So we can take it offline and talk to you privately, okay? It's specific to you. And we don't want to give people the impression we give medical advisors, okay? So let's take it offline, okay? Talk to her.
Okay.
Speak to her again in English and in Chinese if necessary.
Okay, thank you, Master.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, Evan.
Thank you, Master. I have a question about the suffering. So I feel I got a lot of help from enduring the suffering from cross my leg, but how about the other suffering in your life, like the suffering from illness, from other pressure, lost job, something like that? Why those suffering cannot help to improve very quickly? So what's the difference? Thank you, Master.
I don't know. Too complicated. In general, life in the Saha world is suffering because you've been a bad girl. Any you suffering? Anyone? You've been a bad girl. Okay? So that's part of life. You suffer because you're supposed to. I'm sorry, it doesn't sound good, but I sound like we are cruel. But that's part of life, is we're supposed to suffer. We're supposed to have fun, we're supposed to suffer more than we're supposed to have fun. That's how depressing it is for most of us. Okay? That's the fabric of life. What we do in cultivation, we selectively use certain types of suffering to help us cultivate, to help us reduce suffering, if you will. Ordinary people, when they have suffering, they're overwhelmed by suffering. Okay, that's the nature of suffering. The nature of suffering is that it accumulates. So it gets to the point where it's overwhelming. Okay? This is when it's overwhelming, we sink. Whereas that's part of life, like it or not. Okay? And I don't want you to take me wrong. That's the case in marriage, for example. Marriage is that you will suffer until you sink. This is why you should consider shaving your head. Never mind. It's cheap commercial, okay? And you ask the people, I will not name names, but the person right behind you is a prime example of suffering in marriage. Okay? I saw so much suffering when I came up to San Jose 20 years ago. They're both crazy. They're both crazy, may I tell you. And one decided to cultivate with us, and the other decided to cultivate with our competitors. Again, excuse me for being cheap commercial, doing cheap commercials, okay? But it's a great question. And so the point here is that both suffer, okay? Because both are crazy. But one chose to continue to suffer, but using cultivation to be on top of the suffering. And this is why one is happy and one is miserable. We have no idea. It depends who you ask. Okay. So that's why in Buddhism, we use your suffering to help you overcome your suffering, to end your suffering. That's what Buddhism is about. That's what chant training is about. That's what Pure Land is about. It's what mantra is about. Everything, okay, is about using suffering to end suffering. That's all. And so you say if some people, you ask your question about the suffering, is there too many suffering? Of course, we're supposed to suffer because of our retribution. That's what we hear. That's why some of us are Republicans, some of us are Democrats. Republicans have Republican sufferings, Democrats have Democrat sufferings. That's life. Stop whining about it. Okay? I hate it, but but instead of whining and complaining all the time, you should, come Friday night and do this thing and again, oh, super, I'm going to advertising again. So we excel at using suffering to end suffering, using suffering to rise above suffering. Okay, if you can rise above suffering, this is when you're happier. Okay, beware, be careful. People who says, I suffer, I like it. That's no good. Don't marry such people. I tell it to him all the time, but he never listens. Okay, that means that it's karmic debt. It's beyond logic. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. I just think about maybe it's not about a different suffering. I just look back. I feel all the suffering in my life became more useful after I started cultivate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Master.
Yeah. And so once you're able to build your chant skills, you will find that the sufferings actually lessen, and they actually motivate you to work harder. Okay? Whereas ordinary people, when they suffer, they become overwhelmed. That's what I call You become victims of your own sufferings, that's why they're called ordinary people. So this is an automatic response. When the suffering is okay, so I know I will suffer. But only when you suffer, what do? We meditate. We cross our legs. That's all we do. That's how you overcome your suffering. If you didn't do that, you'll be a victim to your suffering, period. Because the suffering what? Accumulates. It will not lessen. You get more and more and more. Okay? All right? Yes, we have a question here. 1.
Hello, hello. Yeah, dear Master, can you hear me? Can you hear me, dear Master? Can you hear me? Okay. I am unclear of the term no birth. Could you please elaborate a little bit? To me, my understanding is, at least in our life, once in our life we are born, or even if we have many lives, we call it reborn. So we say no birth. What's the meaning? Any other meaning behind that?
I'm not sure I get the question. Someone help me out.
The question is about the term that I just saw on the screen that said no births. And my understanding about Buddhism is we try to avoid being reborn, but at least in our life, in this present life especially, we have to be born once. And if we believe that there will be reincarnation or many lives, we will have to be reborn repeatedly. So in the term you mentioned here on the screen, the rebirth, could you please explain or elaborate a little bit?
I'm still not clear.
Okay, there is a difference between no birth or no rebirth, or is there any difference?
Birth and rebirth? The question is...
No birth and rebirth.
I see. Okay. What does it say here on slide 1545? There is no birth and rebirth. Where?
Right now on the screen, I don't see it, but some previous screen, that you go back a little bit, I can see that's the term saying no birth. It's kind of
okay, fine.
Trouble me a little bit, yeah. So
okay, no problem. Rebirth, and what's the difference between rebirth and no birth?
No births.
Rebirth refers to the fact that after this body of yours is done, you'll be born. So the re meaning born again. That's something that you can't help. For most people, you'll be born again. It's a very cruel term. Rebirth is very, very cruel. It's not pleasant, because basically, rebirth that we talk about, even in any schools, whether it's Tibetan or Hinayana, Mahayana, it's very unpleasant because it's going back. You're born again. You're born again. So after you were born into this body, and then after you're done, you'll be born again, and then born again, and born again. So far, so good. It's something that ordinary people don't understand. They don't get it, how depressing it is for you to have this concept of we are reborn incessantly, over and over and over again. And so that's why the Buddha says, when you're reborn, you suffer. That's all you do. You're born and born and born. Every time you're born, you suffer. Just the suffering of birth, the suffering of decay, suffering of aging, suffering of death, and so forth. So it's over and over again. Therefore, you should be scared of rebirth.
Dear Master.
So it's so. Can I finish?
I'm sorry. I thought.
And then, however, in order, if you're really interested in learning how to deal with the rebirth thing, then you have two options. In Buddhism, we teach you two options. One option is non-birth, to get out of this rebirth thing, this cycle, the vicious cycle of rebirth. You get out. That's called non-birth. Number two option is you are reborn to the Pure Land. The difference being that here in our Sao world, your lifespan is very short. Could be 84,000 kalpa. You still have to die. There's nothing you can do about it. You have died and you'll be reborn again and again and again. That's the vicious cycles. Whereas you go to the Pure Land, like Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, you have one birth. So that one rebirth there to a Pure Land where you become a Buddha. Yes, no more. So the rebirth to the Pure Land is actually a slow form of non-birth. Because the rebirth to the Pure Land ends up into non-birth for you next lifetime. Okay? So those are the two options for you. Now, for ordinary people who don't cultivate, then the best option for you is rebirth to the Pure Land. Not coming back here, you idiots. You're coming back here, you still die, you still suffer. Okay? You cannot have no suffering with you in this world. Even if you come back as a king, come back as a monk, come back as a famous left home person, you still suffer. Okay? And there's always a chance for you to fall. And that's the most dangerous thing, is you will fall. Many of Master Shenhua's left home disciples fell. The disciples of the great teacher still fell. Okay? So that's why the better deal for you is to get out of this cycle, vicious cycles of rebirth, by being reborn to the Western Bliss Pure Land. Okay? That's what we teach you in the Saha world, where you have one more birth and that's it. That's the advantage of that rebirth. Because that one rebirth that we recommend is that not ever coming back here. It's not safe for you. Okay? That's Mahayana. Mahayana does not advocate you coming back here. Let me get this straight with all of you. Okay? Mahayana, we know better. Don't come back. Period. You are not smart enough, you're not wise enough to come back. Okay, and it's more. I'm not telling you. It's a lot more. Okay, if you don't believe that, there's no point in telling me you more. You're much better off not coming back. Much better off going to Pure Land first. Okay, and give me a very short glimpse of that. You better go into Pure Land. You come back because Amitabha Buddha sent you back, not because you come back from your stupidity. Is that clear? Make no mistakes about it. In Mahayana, we advocate not coming back. We advocate going to the Pure Land, period. And some of them do come back, by the way, because Amitabha Buddha will send you back. And some of you are here because Amitabha Buddha sent you here, by the way. That's how I know. Okay? So I speak from facts, from empirical evidence. You go there And Amitabha Buddha decides that, okay, it's best you come back. Eventually. You're going to come back eventually, like it or not. Okay? It's working together. Shakyamuni Buddha and Amitabha Buddha are working in conjunction. Don't think it's a one-way street. It's always a two-way street. You Asians, Pure Land people, are so limited. You only see one way. Actually, it's both directions. None of them, Asian Pure Land people, ever taught them that. They think, oh, I just go forever. No, you don't. Even before you become a Buddha, you still have to come back. So be nice to your neighbor, because maybe you come back and you have to see them, okay? Don't think you just run away and sayonara, I am out of here. You know, and before I go, screw you. Don't do that. Okay? Have some class. Okay. For non-birth is the other option, which is very difficult to do, because Buddha says so. Buddha says in a Dharma ending era, which right now, most of you who cross your legs, most of you who cultivate, will not make it. You know, doesn't matter how hard you do, doesn't matter how many mantras you recite, you will fall into the wheel reincarnation again. But there's some people, a select few, who will be able to make it. They will reach a state of non-rebirth because of the training. And that is something that I don't want to explain too much to you. When you get to this level of non-rebirth, okay, in Buddhism, you need to get certification. You don't say, I attain non-rebirth. That's wrong. You never say that. You feel you attain, you got there, you are experienced non-rebirth. That's when you go look for a good no advisor. This is Mahayana I'm teaching you. That you go look for a good no advisor and get certified. And once you're certified, what do? You shut up. You don't tell people I have achieved non-rebirth. Only those who have not attained non-rebirth would proclaim they have non-rebirth. That's a clue for you. Never, ever. Okay? Non-rebirth, another word for non-rebirth, in Mahayana is called enlightenment. You need to be certified. Okay? That's it. DTT.
Hi, Master. I was just wondering, what is cultivation and why is it important?
Cultivation, thank you for asking. Cultivation is like protecting yourself against tariffs. Interested? Anyone? Are you Democrat or Republican? Never mind. Cultivation. I'm kidding, of course. Forgive me. It's Friday night. Come on, folks. Line up. Cultivation. Why we use cultivation? Cultivation is like farming. It's the original. The cultivation is a translation from the Chinese word 修行, which is actually, it's not about cultivation. Okay, it's a lot more, and I prepared some slides for that, which I never could get to use. Okay, my disciples always complain, Master, he meditates and he wants to say something, he makes us prepare slides, and he never uses them. Yes, I have about maybe 50 slides I never used. Okay, yeah, I prepare. I even forgot about them. Okay, after a few days, I don't use it. I don't even remember. And I look at them again, I don't like them anymore. Anyway, so in English, we chose to translate, is a very good translation, that the Chinese word for cultivation is not cultivation, but it's translated into cultivation, okay? And we like it, I like it personally, because it's very meaningful, okay? Very meaningful for our times. Why? Very simple. Cultivation is like farming. It tells you right away that with farming, we avoid tariffs. And never mind, okay, let's forget tariffs for now. I'm obsessed with tariffs. Okay, furniture, I went up that people are looking for furniture, but buy used, don't buy new anymore. Tariffs are killing us. Okay, never mind. I'm told that we just bought some furniture. I hope it's old stock. Anyway, when you farm, because it provides, especially in a temple, for example, in a temple, typical temples in the past, we are poor, so we need to plant things to eat, without which we cannot meditate. So cultivation is to take care of yourself for your well-being, physical, mental, emotional, everything, okay? So cultivation has that sense, the sense that it's farming because it's necessary to sustain ourselves. Someone has to do farming for us to live, okay? So we farm, we cultivate, we're sustaining our lives. Think about it, okay? In a very practical sense, when you cultivate, like you sit there and you study and do this thing here, that's called cultivation because it's good for your health. So far, so good. Okay, number two, the second meaning of cultivation in English is that the process itself, okay, it takes time. You don't cultivate, it's like planting rice. You have to plant the seedlings, okay? And you have to till the soil, plant the seedlings, and weed, and water, and so forth. So cultivation is about planting the seeds. That's the second very important aspect. If you didn't have the proper environment for planting the seeds, so you need to prepare the earth, the field, for the proper conditions for planting the seeds, okay? So you have preparing the field, you have the dropping of the seeds or planting of the stalks, the rice stalks, okay? So there is a technology behind it that you need to do. You need to know what to do before you can get rice. Okay? There's a methodology. Okay? But also in that process, I want to stress out to you, to all of you, is the seeds. The grain of rice we eat could be short grains like the Japanese like to have for the sushis, wonderful things. The Indian prefer basmati rice, which is thinner and longer, which is great for curry, okay, and so forth. The seeds matter. If you plant the proper seeds, then you get the different kinds of rice, the proper rice. Okay? So that's why in cultivation, it takes the proper, you can prepare, you can learn how to prepare the field, you can learn how to weed, you can learn how to fertilize it. There's still one constraint. What kind of seeds are you using? Because that's what you're going to get for harvest. Okay, so I like the concept of cultivation because it stresses the importance of seeds. You have to plant the proper seeds. Okay, that's point number 2. Point number 3 is that it takes time. It's not going to be that fast. Okay, so let me give you the analogy. Time is like sometimes, okay, you need to plant the seeds this lifetime before you can get it later on. Okay, but if you weren't willing to plant the seeds right now, you will never have the results you want. Okay, so that's what cultivation also alludes to, that you have to plant the proper seeds for you to get the proper harvest later. If you didn't plant the right seeds, you will get no harvest. Okay? And so that's Buddhism. We are limited. In Mahayana, we're limited by your seeds. You didn't have seeds, okay, of Mahayana, you have walked out already by now. In the past, many of you who are still here because you planted Mahayana seeds, and now they mature. That's why you come back and keep on coming back because it takes time. You're not going to go reach non-birth. You're not going to reach rebirth of the Pure Land in one shot. It's not possible. It's not that easy, folks. Okay? Because you will stop yourself. It's not us. It's not like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas says, I don't like you. If such people behave like that, they're not Bodhisattvas. Okay? He look at you, I don't like your wife. Okay, that's guaranteed. This person has no wisdom whatsoever. Okay? So it's the Bodhisattvas are constrained by that. Even Buddhas are constrained by that. Here's what happens. It's like you open a restaurant, a Michelin 3-star restaurant, okay? Because you're a 3-star chef, okay? And now you open a new one. It's it's going to become 3-star Michelin caliber, okay? But you may have a fantastic restaurant. You build a beautiful, you spend $1 million making the interior so wonderful that Vanessa would like to go on a date, okay? On Friday night, okay? When she's not here, things like that. But what if no one comes? And that's Buddha's restrictions, his limitation. He can build the most wonderful galaxy, the most wonderful Buddha land, but if no one comes, it's nothing he can do. And they only come because they planted the seeds. Okay? So that's be specific. They're like, oh my God, there's so many of you. Wow, I like you. They're like 15 people. My average is about several, okay? There are 15 people here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15, okay. 15 people here. It's because you planted the seeds already for you to come here to be insulted. That's the seed you planted. And some people planted the seeds to say, oh, Bodhisattva, welcome to my humble temple. We're so honored to have you. That's a different seed. For us, we don't like you. Okay? So that's why the seeds are very important. And so it takes time, finally. Okay? It takes time that it's important. Like tonight, you're new to us and welcome. Okay? I don't recognize you at all. So I assure you, you planted seeds to be insulted again in the future. And you like it. The people who didn't plant seeds, they will not like it when they're insulted. Okay? So it's not much we can do. Okay? And that's our limitations. Yeah. Yeah. All right? Any other questions? Okay, let's go to the real teaching. Huh? Instead of gossiping, can we? Okay. So, in general, I want to remind you again. Wisdom is lack of confusion, lack of delusions. And delusions in Buddhism is very specific, 2 types. Okay? View delusions and thought delusions. Okay? This is not theory. You're learning this because I want you to see. If you want to understand these concepts, I'd like you to memorize thought delusions and view delusions because it helps you spot people. Okay? When people are in these modes, it's not much you can do. It's very important. Okay? Don't press the issue, soothe them out, kiss up to them, because that's as far as they can go. Nothing wrong with you when they're into this mode. Like a kid who definitely needs his toy, okay? You can't win, speaking reason, okay? You have to be patient. You have to wait, okay? Soothe him. Don't let him hurt himself. You have to wait. Is that clear? And that's part of wisdom. That's why you're learning about this, because first of all, you need to undo it yourself. And so last week we talked about view delusions, which are when you face something, you will face with something outside, and a state, we call a state, and you give rise to love and desire. Okay? So, example, why insult you? Okay? You like it. That's a view delusion. Never mind. Okay? Not funny, I know. Okay. And I like to memorize the view delusions. That's very important. Okay? It's very important to see the delusion has dimensions, has characteristics. When you talk about delusion in general, it's too vague. Okay? This delusion here, this type of delusions are important. They're the kind that prevent you from getting to the frame of mind of wisdom. You can be deluded about all the things, but as long as you're not deluded about these 5 different kinds, then you have a chance to activate your wisdom. Is that clear? It's very, very important. So it's very important for you to memorize it. Okay? And not only to spot others, but also for yourself. Okay? So when you sit on Friday nights and you push yourself, I taught you to push yourself to the point of suffering. When you reach a point of suffering where you can't take it anymore, this is when you are able to drop your delusions. This is our secret. If you don't push yourself, you say, I'm comfortable, I'm happy here, I feel peaceful, that's good enough for me, you still are a victim to your delusions. They're hiding under your comfort. So that's why our secret, and don't tell anyone, is push yourself to the point where you can't take it and endure a little bit more. That's when you drop these delusions. Shh. Okay? Got that? Again, we edit this out. Okay? We don't tell people. I don't want people to know about this. I want it to be our secret only. Okay? Just for you. If you appreciate it, subscribe. so that they can give you similar, videos that's this good, this quality. So far, so good? Okay, yeah. So, view delusions, please memorize it. The 5 types, we talked about it last week, okay? And give rise to greed and love. You are greedy for it, and you like it too much, okay? Number 2, tonight, I have 15 minutes, so I want to talk to you about thought delusions. Thought delusions, again, by definition, you're confused about principle and give rise to discrimination. And yes, I see it, I'm trying to ignore it. Okay? This is the English translation. I'm not sure, and I'm hoping that the Chinese will help me here, okay? Because this is what I learned. When I first learned about the Buddha Dharma from Master YongHua, this is what I learned. I memorized it. Thought delusions are giving rise to discriminations, okay? Because we're confused about principles. And now, as I prepare for this, and I realize that the Chinese is different, okay? Actually, Chinese means 疑惑, doubt and confusion. Where does discrimination come from? So I'd like you to go back, you Chinese-speaking people, go back to your Chinese sources, okay, and find out, okay, is it discrimination or doubt or confusion? Okay? And in principle, you have, there's a realm of the principle and the nomenon, confusion, and so forth, okay, and so forth. The point here, I want to stress to you, is that cultivation, the secret of cultivation is to use your delusions to cut them off. So don't be afraid of your delusions. Your training is designed to help you cut off your view delusions and thought delusions through this process. You didn't go through this process, you can read as many manuals, many books, many sutras, but you won't be able to understand what they mean. Because look at the example of Great Master Sixth Patriarch, Master Huineng. He never studied anything, but he was taught how to do chant, and he meditated. The meditation helped him cut off the view delusions and thought delusions and all the many delusions. And that's why when you read to him, he understands what the text means. And that's a chant, pure chant right there. We develop a wisdom and then we go study. That's pure chant. Whereas the worldly people, they study first, okay, and they get a big head and I know everything. Master, what you talked about is the path of words is cut off. You don't need to talk so much. I have 1 hour and a half to talk, and you want me to cut off words? Because I call myself a chant master, why I talk so much? Okay, talk so much because I like it. Anyway, and so this is very important. The pure chant, people, to me, is like Master Huineng. Okay, you practice chant first, and then you study. Worldly people, especially scholars, they study and then they get stuck. Because knowledge is an obstruction. You know too much. You know how to make money, for example. You know how to be famous. And therefore, you're too busy making money, becoming famous. Then opening your wisdom and discovering the true meaning of life, true happiness. Okay? You have too much success too soon. And that's an impediment to opening your wisdom. Okay? So that's thought delusions. So this is this is very important. This section here, this last sentence here, both accord with states to cut off delusions. Meaning what? Meaning when you deluded, okay, that's an opportunity for you to cut off your delusions if you know how. So don't whine because it's difficult. Don't whine because it's, because I'm so mean. Sometimes I'm mean because you're not suffering enough yet. That sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah. That explains everything now why I'm so mean. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I have 2 questions. So one is that it's a kind of continuation of last week's lecture. If you go back to the previous slide, I think last week, the previous slide about view delusions. So last week you were saying the 5 quick, what is that? Servant. Quick servant is there are view delusions, and then 5 Tao servants are thought delusions. That's what you were saying, but that's not the case according to the slides, and also according to the dictionary, Buddha's dictionary. All of those 10 are view delusions.
They're view delusions?
Yeah. That's why they're listed in that slide in that way.
That's what I learned from Master Xinhua.
Okay, I guess we can do more research. That's when I look up the For Guangshan dictionary, that's where this phrase is from. So this is talking about view delusions and list all those 10.
No. The view delusions have 88 different types, and thought delusions have 81. Okay? And from what I learned from Master Xinhua is the view delusions are this. Is what I remember. Okay, I may be wrong. My only excuse, I'm old enough to be wrong. And lose my memory, lose my marbles.
Okay, I guess it doesn't really matter to me. I have a second question. Is the classification of view delusions and thought delusions? What's the significance of that? Like in the sense of, like, do we cut them off differently, or how do we handle them differently, or should they be handled differently? They
have different orders. You need to first cut off view delusion before you can cut off thought delusions. Okay? And when you look at this here, okay, you see view delusions here is outside. Okay? The jian ju jian is that it's the confusion about precepts. About results. Okay? They're confused about, this guy's confused about fourth dhyana versus fourth stage arhat. Jie Jin Ju Jian here is the confusion about precepts. They don't understand the substance of the precept. They only learn about the words. They don't understand the substance. This is what the Hinayana people tend to have the mistake. They got there, they got the substance, but they still are not clear as in Mahayana. So these are the confused, you're confused about states. That's a view delusion. Look at 顿识. 顿识 is 贪嗔痴慢疑. It's mind. It's not view at all. It's how your mind functions. I don't know how you read your Chinese sources, but to me, this is the mind. It's not view at all. Okay? You're greedy because your mind is greedy. Without needing anything, you're greedy. Meaning what? You're hoarding. That's why you... Okay? This greed here in your mind manifests in form, I want more, I want more, I want more. I want more disciples, I want more money. That's what you want first. You don't care what you're going to do with it. It doesn't matter. You just want more. So this mind here is a mind of hoarding. So far so good. Chen here is a mind of anger. You're always angry. Look at me. The face is always red. Isn't it clear to you? You have issues with anger management. Two is stupid. Okay? No matter what, okay, you won't listen. You won't listen to reason. The mind cannot register. Man, there's no reason why you're so proud of yourself. Why you think so highly of yourself? What have you done? Seriously. What have you done? What you have accomplished to feel you better than someone else? But yet we feel better, you feel superior. Ask Vietnam. Immediately look at one Vietnam guy, he says, I'm better than you. No? I know what I'm talking about. Okay? So man is that, it's automatic. How about E? E is what? Also Vietnam thing. I don't believe you. You got that? So it's mind thing. It's not view at all. So ignore Phổ Quang Shan. I don't care. I doubt that Phổ Quang Shan is correct. The Buddhist dictionary is correct. I really doubt it. Okay. Okay. And so do we go to the next one? I have 3 more minutes. Think contemplation. There you go. We're done. Okay, I'm tired. Well, this is the last time we speak this thing with you for another month. Yeah. Okay. So basically, it says twin contemplation. Twin contemplation refers to this is Buddhist wisdom, mind you. Absolute truth and relative truth. Okay. Absolute truth is that the truth of the universe, everything is empty. Relative truth is that everything is real. So it's called the two truth. Okay, the truth, absolute truth, is a truth that you get from people with wisdom. Okay, relative truth is the people who are confused. Okay, but if you get to the level of enlightenment, big enlightenment in Buddhism, then you have both. Hinayana has only one, absolute truth. Mahayana have both. Okay? So that's a big difference, mind you. Very, very important part of the training is for us to bring you the absolute truth and then teach you about relative truth. What's the difference between that? There is a sequence here. Ordinary people are confused. Don't talk to them about truth. They don't get it. But you need to go through this training to get to the absolute truth, meaning you're able to drop everything, and then you're able to pick up everything and not be attached. Why? Because it's the attachment that makes you suffer. Get a divorce. Get that? Okay. Dump her. Okay. See, so much anger. I told you. I think I should spray my face with different color to mask it. It's not healthy. What color would I use? Oh, I love orange. Thank you. Hey, the kids are so happy tonight. You must be in a good mood. Look, both the kids are playing. Look at how happy they are. Okay. So you see, ordinary people, they cannot see the truth because the proof is they cannot let go. Absolute truth is the first phase is that you can let go. Okay? And then after you're able to see it through, then you can really now can go back and pretend to be attached to it. And that's called love, true love. Okay? Difference in illumination, meaning that you get different things. Okay? When you have these kind of wisdoms, you'll be able to have different kinds of pleasures. Okay? Let me explain about illumination for you. It's very simple for you, and I need to go. No more questions, okay? Illumination, for example, when you look at the absolute truth, when you're able to drop, there is bliss in dropping, by the way. When you have no attachments, it's very blissful. Okay? It's wonderful. And then you learn about dropping the relative, okay? The common, the worldly things. Then, believe it or not, now your life, your pleasures, your bliss is multidimensional. Before, it's only one form where you have no attachment. You're empty, okay? No more heat, no more suffering. But then your world is boring. Okay? Because you look at your son and you see emptiness. You look at your daughter, and if she wants to run away, say, good, run away. You want to dance? Dance. Okay? So you really are able to drop everything, okay? And that's very nice. But you're missing out on the connection. Okay? Meaning that I want you to have a life in Mahayana where we drop when we're supposed to drop and we attach when we're supposed to attach. And that's Mahayana. Hinayana, they only drop. They say, I don't need you. I'm happy by myself. Right, girl? When I talk happy by myself, he definitely needs absolute truth. Then after you get absolute truth, then you learn to pretend to be attached. And we bring happiness to the world. Okay? Yeah. That's my short take for you on Mahayana wisdom. So in closing, first divorce the wife, then marry her again later. Okay, thank you everyone.